In response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a number of tech companies including Netflix, Snapchat, Apple and others have requested suspensions in Russia. This development comes after prominent tech companies such as Meta and Google began following up on the Russia-Ukraine crisis last week by prohibiting Russian media from running adverts or publishing on their platforms. In the meanwhile, Twitter has restricted access to some select Russian users. Netflix has withdrawn from Russia in response to the country's invasion of Ukraine. According to Bloomberg, new clients in Russia will not be able to join at this time, and existing clients will lose access in the coming months. The group also stated that all future projects and relationships with the country would be terminated. Netflix had 4 Russian firsts in works at the time, all of which had to be postponed. PayPal closed its services in Russia, citing the current circumstances. The corporation has also closed accepting any new users from Russia. Under the current circumstances, we are suspending PayPal services in Russia, President and Chief Executive Dan Schulman said, adding that the company stands with the international community in condemning Russia's violent military aggression in Ukraine, reported Reuters. Nintendo has merged in the protest against Russia. Nintendo has disabled its eShop in Russia, which means that no purchase will be made on the Nintendo Switch there, due to the fact that the payment service used in the Nintendo eShop has suspended the processing of payments in rubles. The Nintendo eShop in Russia is temporarily placed into the maintenance mode. A statement on the Nintendo Life reads, Epic Games via its newsroom post specified that it is stopping commerce with Russia in our games. In a letter to its employees, which Activision Blizzard also shared on Twitter, its president and chief operating officer Daniel Allegri has announced that the company will be suspending new sales of and in our games in Russia while this conflict continues. In the aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Snapchat quickly disabled its heat map by finding regions with high numbers of Ukrainians. Russia may have exploited the feature to plan military attacks. In a tweet, Snapchat announced the change. As a safety precaution, we have temporarily disabled the Snap Maps heat map of public snaps in the Ukraine. The company said, we will continue to offer curated stories comprised of snaps submitting in Ukraine. Snapchat also said that it will donate $15 million in humanitarian help to Ukraine and that ad sales in Russia will be banned. Adobe said it will stop all sales in Russia, citing the unlawful war being waged in Ukraine. CEO Shantanu Narayan stated, as we see this tragedy unfold, we believe we have a responsibility to ensure our products and services are not used in support of this unlawful war. Effective immediately, Adobe will halt all new sales of Adobe products and services in Russia. In Ukraine, in support of Ukraine, Apple has halted the sale of its products in Russia. Apple Maps in Ukraine has also been disabled for both traffic and live situations as a safety and precautionary measure for Ukrainian citizens. Apple Pay has been restricted in Russia due to sanctions imposed by the government. Outside of Russia, certain Russian news apps were also removed from the App Store. We are deeply concerned about the Russian invasion of Ukraine and stand with all of the people who are suffering as a result of violence. We are supporting humanitarian efforts, provides aid for the unfolding refugee crisis, and doing all we can to support our teams in the region, Apple said in a statement. Samsung Electronics said it is hanging shipments to Russia due to current geopolitical developments. Shipments to Russia have been suspended. The company in a statement said that it is also contributing $6 million, including $1 million in consumer electronics as well as voluntary donations from employees to actively support humanitarian efforts and refugees in the region.